standing on this runway, still in dirty boots. You in that dress, as I'm holding on to you. I feel San Diego sun and ocean breeze, but I can't erase the things that I've seen. So will you wait for me? Because I'm half the way home. I'm only half the way home. I try to run, but that war won't let go. I'm only half the way home. So welcome home from the fire, but it feels like my heart's wrapped in barbed wire. And as you're holding on to me, I just can't erase the things that I've seen. So will you wait for me? Because I'm half the way home. I'm only half the way home. I try to run, but that war won't let go. I'm only half the way home. As I stare into your eyes, I still see the deserts of Iraq. And if only in my mind I'll get home as fast as I can. But for now I'm half the way home. I'm only half the way home. I try to run, but that war won't let go. I'm only half the way home. I try to run, but that war won't let go. I'm only half the way home. Guitar and some memories in a faded duffel bag. The city lights coming into view. I've been to hell but made it back. God bless the broken road. when she was looking for a sign. I'll never understand how an angel can be baptized by fire, but she says a prayer for me when I haven't got a prayer. And she's more than I deserve, more than I deserve. Yeah, she's more than I deserve, more than I deserve. Mama, can you see? I hope you're proud of me, 'cause you're more than I deserve, more than I deserve. You're more than I deserve, more than I deserve. You're more than I deserve, more than I deserve. You're more than I deserve, more than I deserve.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome to Homeland Hero Salute Podcast with your hosts, Doug Macedo and Tim Chambers.
Welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode. I'm your host, Doug, and today we've got a returning guest with us, Artie here. But before we get over to him and get talking and getting to talking about his drift car Force One, we want to give a big shout out to all of our sponsors and our viewers last week with Scotty Frazier. So we want to definitely say thank you to everybody. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing. And thank you to Artie for returning back. Welcome, man. Welcome back, man.
Oh, thank you for having me back on. Uh, it was a good time the first time, and when you reached out to ask me to come on again, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's I mean, I know you do you have your own podcast that you're doing with your drift car and everything, and I know you usually do audio on all your episodes and everything. And so I might be
You-
talking you into doing the video now, maybe. Um,
Yeah, I've been wanting to do the video part. It just adds that extra layer. I was
yep,
trying to keep it pretty basic so that it would be repeatable,
yep,
and also to get some other people if they're not able to, sit down and be on video chat, they can at least
be audio.
do the audio. So
Yep,
try to make it easier. But after seeing what the great stuff that you do and the quality that you put out, it kind of makes me want to go in that direction. We'll see what happens this
you
year
you can
once I
you.
get everything.
Hey, if you stay audio for your guests and they don't want to do like some of them can't do video, you can always put their photo on the one side and have it all
Hmm.
going that way too. I know I get some people like that, and I've got some more guests that are coming up, and I'm trying to get them to do the video as well. But it is what it is. A lot of people sometimes don't want to have their face because they're like, oh well, maybe I'm gonna look too much this or too much that. It's like, hey, you do what you want. You tell me what you want to do.
Yep.
I'm absolutely okay with it. Me personally, I want to be out there. I want people to see my face. I want them to know, who I am behind the whole Fubar Studios Veteran Reinforcement Track Day for Veterans. Now that, without getting it released yet, but there's another organization that I'm getting more and part of. As well as, I'm also another co-host of Homeland Heroes Foundation. So there's a lot of I'm wearing a lot of hats, doing a lot of things, traveling,
Yep.
working, father.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're a busy man. Like you're doing a lot, and
yeah,
it's all in the name of you know good good things.
yep, absolutely. And so we want to get diving into what you've been up to. What have you been up to since last time we've talked? What kind of races and stuff drifting have you been out there doing?
Um, so I believe the last time we talked, it was right before I believe it was 2023 or 2024. I can't remember.
Yeah,
But it was right at the beginning of the season, and that season I wanted to try out competition drifting.
yeah,
And Lock City Drift in Connecticut had a street series. They're still doing it. I haven't heard anything about this year, but they had a 4 round street series, and your car had to have full interior. It had to be registered. It had to meet like an actual street car
yeah,
requirement, which keeps a lot of the full race car guys out. And then it also had a tire restriction, so you could only run a 235 wide tire, which also keeps a lot of the high horsepower guys out because, you know, putting 800 horsepower through a 235, you're gonna have no traction.
yeah,
So even with my car, it's about, I'd say, 350 horse,
yeah,
and it was pretty much all, stock 240s and 350Zs and BMWs. So I was around the similar horsepower, and so I put a 235 tire on it, and I tried it out. I had never driven at that track up until that point. So learning the road course while also having to try and compete
yeah,
was a little tricky. Trying to get the right lines down. Excuse me. And so I struggled. I did put down some decent qualifying runs, and made it into the competition. And first round, I made it into top 16. And then the next round, um, there was kind of that was where the battle scarred beauty kind of started.
Yeah.
I had the first significant incident in practice, and somebody I'd never driven before, but I matched up with him in practice, and we were doing tandem runs. Lead follow, just kept trading places, and he had an LS motor and an S13, so it was pretty comparable power wise,
Yeah.
and we were going back and forth, and we were doing well. And then towards the end of practice, I don't know what happened with him behind me, but I entering the first long sweeper, I shallowed up a little bit because I didn't want to drop the back bumper off the edge of the track,
Yeah.
and I just got broadsided, and it stuffed in my door. It actually bent my passenger side frame rail in like an inch, and then blew out my window. And it actually bent my front upper control arm, and it was kind of I didn't know what happened after that. And then
Yeah.
after checking the damage and all that, um, I was able to get my alignment adjusted enough to get back out there. And I was able to go out and compete in the round, even with the the
The,
broken door and everything. I already showed up, so I might as well,
yeah.
keep going. And unfortunately, I went a little hot dog in the first corner and hucked it a little bit too hard. It had rained, and I hit a wet patch, and I ended up spinning out in my lead run. So it was kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting a 0 for my lead run, and then my chase run, I did decent. But at that point, I was knocked out. So not too great in that round. And then the last two, the third round, just kind of uh, struggled a little bit again. We had a crazy, crazy storm during that event, and there was probably 6 inches of water going across the
Wow.
track, and we were sitting in grid, and I opened up my door, and there was actually like a wave like hitting the side of my car because the water running across this track was so deep. So the track was very, very slick, very, very tough. A lot of people were struggling, and my car, just being the power that I have and how heavy it is, running a 235 tire in the rain,
Yeah.
I had no grip, and it was like riding on ice. So I had a terrible qualifying run, and with how many people showed up, I didn't end up making into the event. So I just kind of called it a day at that point and loaded
Yeah.
up soaking wet. And then the last round, it was just it fell on the same day as another event that I wanted to go to. So I just decided not to finish out that season, that series. I didn't do as good as I had hoped, and but it was a great learning experience, and
Yeah.
I got to drive with a lot of good drivers and see how I stacked up, and just kind of it really opened my eyes to the reason why I do what I do.
Yeah.
And I'm not a very competitive person.
Yeah.
I'm more like I want to go and have fun with my friends and enjoy the experiences with everybody. And it's like I had said in the last one, like it's my therapy.
Yeah.
Like this getting the adrenaline and driving, you have to be so focused in it that
Yeah.
it's very therapeutic to me. And after doing the competition stuff, I was just like, you know what? It's so much extra pressure for no reason, and there's so many better drivers that are built for competition. I like going out and driving with my friends and having fun and just
Yeah.
having that community feel. So after that, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stick to my grassroots community driving. just find out which events my friends are going to that I love to drive with that I know are very consistent drivers, and
Yeah.
I'm just going to stick to those events. And I talked to you a little bit more. I guess that was kind of since, that was like the
Yeah.
past events, past seasons. I did a team tandem competition at Thompson with a group of my, local driving friends,
Yeah.
and we did pretty decent. But again, there's other people that have been driving together for 5, 6 years, so they are just on each other's door. But it was a great experience. And then just doing regular events, just going out having fun and driving with my friends. And that's pretty much all the way up until the end of last season. That's basically what I did.
No, that's a lot. And now
Mhm.
you got to deal with the damages to the car, which you and I were just talking about that and getting those fixed, getting it out into the garage and be able to get it worked on. Because you even had said that the panel was pushed, the back panel was pushed in what a full inch.
The passenger side frame rail, so
Yeah,
directly under the passenger door, it was dented in like an inch. So the other guy's rear wheel, actually,
did it.
because the Corvettes are all fiberglass.
Yeah,
I do have a roll cage in it, so that saved it from any further damage
yeah,
because his car actually stopped on my roll cage. But the frame rail, the wheel, bent it. I have bent it back. I was able to get a little hydraulic. Um, it's like a spreader, pusher, puller kind
yeah.
of, all in one unit. I've used it on a couple other cars to bend frame rails straight and stuff. So I was able to get it kind of reshapen, so that it's not bent in anymore.
Nice.
And it very, very minor damage to it. There's no crease in it or anything. So luckily there's no severe damage to it. So
Yeah,
the car still aligns perfectly straight. And then during the team tandem competition, I had one person run into the driver's side rear quarter,
yeah,
so it bent in. I have a steel reinforced, we call them bash bars. Just, you have these cheap, easy, quick made steel reinforced bumpers that if somebody bumps into you, it will take, it'll absorb all the hit. So then you can just unbolt it
yeah.
and have somebody just make another tube and bolt it right back on. It's cheap, quick, easy, and it saves the car. So he hit the corner and it bent in the bash bar, which in turn went into the rear fiberglass tub,
Wow.
and pulled in the fender a little bit. So I got a little bit of fiberglass work.
Yeah,
Hopefully, I can save the bash bar just by bending it back out. And then the front, also the bash bar, somebody checked up a little bit and stopped
yeah,
in one of the corners, so I gave him a little bump on his wheel. So it kind of pushed in the front bumper a little bit and bent my front bash bar. So I just got to bend that back out a little bit. But as far as running, driving, everything's still good. The suspension's still good. Like
yeah.
no damage to the. I have a bunch of spare parts. There's a place I want to give a shout. Next Gen Parts Place in
Okay.
Spencer, Mass. They have helped me out big time with. They sold me a new door with
Yeah,
the glass in it and everything. They sold me a bunch of control arms and tie rods and steering racks and all the spare parts. Every time I have to replace something, when I go there, I end up buying two.
yeah,
So he knows like I'm going to be a consistent customer, and he works with me on price and stuff like that. And
yeah.
I'm sure to send other people with Corvettes. He deals with late model Mustangs, Camaros, Corvettes. Any
Nice.
of the modern, muscle cars. He has entire crate motors,
Yeah.
transmissions, differentials, everything you can think of. Um,
Wow.
Parts are very reasonable, and he ships all over the country. So
Oh,
he's
that's
he's
good.
helped me out big time. So
No, that's
um,
good. I mean, that's a lot of parts you're buying from the guy, and he's doing it at a reasonable price, which, in return, what you're doing is going to cost you quite a bit. Unless you have the money to back it constantly, or if you have the sponsors or whatnot to help out to offset that stuff. Um,
yep.
what tracks are you looking at this year to being at? Because I know we were talking just a little bit ago that there's a few events you want to go to, but yeah, I would love to know what tracks you're going to be at this year.
So this year coming up, it's probably mostly going to be Lock City Drift at Thompson Speedway.
Yeah,
That's kind of the biggest events that they have in the Northeast right now.
yeah,
It's The events are always an amazing show. Uh, they have probably the most stylish cars that
yeah,
go to those events. They're real big on, kind of in reinforcing the, don't just drive,
yeah,
also take pride in your car and have it look, you know, be an extension of yourself and like your style. So, take pride in your car. So, they're more of like the drifting car show
yeah,
side of drifting. Um, as long as I've been in drifting, there's so many different facets of drifting, and they definitely are more of the style oriented. The driving is amazing. The track, the venue is just awesome. They always have, food vendors there, and they got real nice facilities, nice bathrooms, and they got great places to view. There's not a bad seat in that place to watch the drifting. They have a skid pad. They have the clubhouse
yeah,
as the road course, and then they also use the back section of the road course, which is a super fast section of the track. It's super fun. And then they also use the oval track.
yeah,
So there's so many different places that you can drive there. You're never bored. If you get too many laps on this track, you can go to another one and have a totally different skill set. So
yeah,
that'll probably be the main track that I'll be going to. I'm going to try to hit as many events as I can this year. The other tracks, it's kind of tough because they do Friday events,
yeah,
and that's Lebanon Valley Dragway in Nassau, New York. It's a pretty well known drag track, but they have a freshly paved big open parking lot that they set up, and they use that for drifting. So it's at least once a month on a Friday, and they usually do it in the evening,
yeah,
so people can still like work a day, and get out of work and then go and watch drifting or go drifting.
yeah,
It's very reasonable price. It's probably like the least expensive event in the Northeast, and it's a lot of fun. It's a more laid back type
yeah,
of environment, and if you want to learn, it's a really good place to learn because there's no walls or anything like that to have to worry about. And then the third track that I usually at least go to once or twice a year is Englishtown, New Jersey. Um, Unfortunately, it's on the other side of New York City, so it's an absolute nightmare to try and drive down
yeah,
to from the Northeast, especially when you're towing a truck and trailer.
yeah,
But the track that's just, I, I'd probably say that's for drifting specifically, that is right up there with, Thompson Speedway with supporting the drifting community.
yeah,
They that track you can see is more on the driver's side.
Yeah.
So little less on the style side, but more they push your driving. Um, People will come, they'll watch you, be like, hey, can you watch me on this lap? Let me know what I need to do to improve,
Yeah.
and they will push you. The one thing I tell people, it's pretty well known, you got to have thick skin when you go there.
Yeah.
They are they have, it's more of a tough love kind of, training and stuff like that. But it's all in the name of pushing your driving and you getting better. So if you can kind of put your ego aside and you go in there with an open mind and listen to what they give you for advice,
Yeah.
some of the best drivers in Formula Drift and drifting in general in the United States have come out of that track and
Yeah.
have learned to drift at that track. So it has a very good reputation. The team there is awesome. The track is awesome. It's very laid back. They even have after events, they have a bar, Sneaky Pete's, and it's an old like biker, wooden barn with, old uh, choppers hanging from the ceiling and stuff. So once we're all done for the day driving, we all go there and hang out, and they got videos playing and everything, and just the atmosphere is just amazing. So I definitely want to get down there again. I'm still in B group there. I need to get down there a little bit more frequently so that I can push to get to A group, so then I can actually tandem with other cars. And then finally, Drift New England
Yep.
is a track that has been in the development for the past few years. It is a drift specific track. I know a lot of the people that are invested in it and developing it, and it's in Leominster, New Hampshire, right across from the old Jolly Rogers like motocross track.
Okay.
It's now New Hampshire Motocross, and they're building a drift specific motorsports park, and it's going to start off with a road course that has some pretty drastic elevation changes. Drifting started in Japan, so they want to give that Japanese mountain feel to the track and some of the experiences that you can't get really in the United States. So they're building the road course, and then they're going to have a massive skid pad as well. So they're going to have a drift school there. So you'll be able to learn and just have a great facility. And they're hoping to have that open by the end of this year, hopefully by fall time.
Yeah.
So that the beautiful New Hampshire foliage, it'll be a great drive out there and be able to watch drifting and have beautiful sights as well. So I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully in the next few years I'll be able to work with them to, hopefully be able to work with you as well for, veteran reinforcement and have a home base to bring veterans out to go for ride-alongs.
Absolutely, and we definitely look forward to it, and we continue to build that relationship between each other on this, and because that's basically what we're trying to do with these veterans is get them out into the tracks and be able to let them experience the excitement and the endorphins moving when it comes to this racing industry, and it's a lot of millions of people watch it and follow this stuff. It's it's really gets yourself going, and you being a veteran, myself being a veteran, some of the other race car drivers that we have with Track Day for Veterans, we all understand it and we grasp it, and we're almost like we need that in general, that jolt of energy that this gives us, because again, as you were talking before regarding the just having that therapy time of being behind the wheel and going at a high speed and drifting around the corners, it's the same feeling that that you would feel as a veteran that's on a motorcycle and getting that road therapy on two wheels. a lot of us, we tend to move around stuff that has that kind of feeling to it and that excitement, and getting veterans involved with it, it just hits you.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I know you have the simulator. I know you spent the money on the simulator. You know, and it's all set up just like the car that is right behind you. It's
Mm-hmm.
set up that way. Which is the Drift Force One. I've seen it in pictures. I've seen it in the videos.
Yep.
It's like it's absolutely amazing. And I know you had it down at your station where you're stationed at in the Air Force, and you had it in front of one of the fighter jets that you guys have on the
Yeah, the
runway.
F-15. Yep. Yeah, one of the jets that I worked on, they had it parked right on the runway, and I was helping for our air show. I was helping the National Guard recruiters, and just kind of having a display set up and just generating that conversation, and people that are like, oh, asking me questions about it and all that, and like, oh yeah, I love working on cars and this and that, and it's like, that just starts the conversation to be like, okay, well, have you ever thought about, the military or anything like that? And it was a great, icebreaker to
Yeah.
kind of, like, hey, I've been in the military, I've been active duty, I've been National Guard, I've been reserves, I've been Air Reserve technician, like DoD civilian, I've been AGR, active Guard Reserve. So I've kind of hit all of the different spots,
Yeah.
and done all of the different things in the Air Force. So I have the experience to kind of share that with people to, I can give them a little bit of, insight to, what would actually fit for them. And then on top of that, also having a lot of that experience, I can relate to a lot of other veterans that have done a bunch of different things. So it was a great opportunity. I've been talking with them again this year to try and go to some events, and definitely try and work with you as well.
Yeah.
Once I get my car fixed up and replace some of the patch panels and redo some of the vinyl wrap on it. I definitely want to get some of your logos on there and
Yeah.
try and be an extension of your program to try and get more of the word out there, because you're just one man.
Yeah.
And any way that I can help to try and spread the word, our feelings and thoughts and vision kind of align. So
Yeah.
I think it would be a great opportunity to kind of, especially if I can get out to air shows and stuff, because that's
Yeah.
basically the where most veterans go during the
Yeah.
summer. It's just a great place to be. Um,
Absolutely.
and along the lines of the driving simulator, I actually have, I don't know if it's going to pick it up, but I
No.
have, yeah, it's not picking up, but I have somebody built my car in the game. So I use Assetto Corsa for drifting.
Yeah.
It's one of the top games for drifting because of the modability. And I had somebody that was really good with 3D modeling, and he took my entire livery, built the roll cage, the interior is exactly the same. He did a phenomenal job, and that's kind of part of my setup where I'm gonna try and bring that out to events as well, so that if people want to come out and check it out, you'll be able to see my car,
Yeah.
sit in it and everything, and then sit in the simulator and give your shot at trying to drift my car. And I have a bunch of the local tracks loaded into the game, so you can actually drive at
Yeah.
Thompson Speedway and Drift New England to actually see what the track's going to look like, even before it exists in real life,
Yeah.
which is amazing. Just the technology nowadays is crazy, and even just the simulator, there's a lot of people that I know that are actually drifting right now that uh, started by just driving on the simulator, and then they
Yeah.
jump into a real car and they were able to pick it up immediately. So I think it
Yeah.
would be a great opportunity for people to try it out.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's another way. As people know, I'm gonna have all the links to his information is gonna be down below. Also, if you want to get into being into a sim racing and trying to get your hands on, potentially getting picked to get a sim setup. You want to check out Goat Locker. They do a lot of stuff with giving out sim racing equipment. All you got to do is sign up, and then once they do a pick the veteran, they actually will just tell you, just make sure that you get the iRacing, stuff like that, because again, it all depends on what you guys want to get into, and racing or driving. There's so many things out there. There's so much. I mean, I got the replica. I built it myself for iRacing, for Andy J's car, which is races in the Arkham Nard series. I've started building Derek Roby's car for the Pro 4 Modified, so the open wheel car. So I've got his car going in there. So there's so many different things to get out there and be able to experience. I know we're getting down to the close to the end of the show, and I want to talk more regarding the events. And I know you how you want to get out and be able to display the car. And we were talking, about this earlier, was displaying the car and potentially having the setup with the sim racing, so that people can get behind the wheel and, as we were just talking, getting to drive it around, like Thompson Speedway or Palmer or New England Strip and all that. Um, there's so many things out there. I know, what kind of events are you looking at other than air shows? Are you potentially looking at?
Right now, I don't really have many events that the calendars are still coming out.
Yeah,
So I'm just, looking at my calendar and seeing what events I can actually. But if anybody out there has an event that you feel that, my car, the sim setup and all that would be a good fit to bring out to the event. That's kind of something that I want to start doing a little bit more, is, just using my program and my hobby as a promotional type
yeah,
display for other people. So if there's any other people out there that um, you know wanna wanna utilize my setup and my experience and stuff like that to promote whatever, I'd be happy to do that. And I also have a trailer setup. It's a 30-foot trailer. It's got a big awning. It's got speakers. It's got a bathroom and all that stuff. So I can set that up at an event and have a booth, and have my car, have the simulator set up, and have like a full display. And if anybody, has a booth that they want to go to a car show and, sell their products or whatever, and kind of use my car and simulator setup to draw people in, if it aligns with, what they're about, I'm all for it. Just
yeah.
feel free to reach out to me on any social media. It's Drift Force One on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I have a Discord I have a server on Assetto Corsa. So if you actually want to drive my car in the game, you can go right on Assetto Corsa, go right online and search Barnstormers. And that's my server's name. And you can go right in there and drive my car. And I'm on there quite often, so I can drive along with you, and then join the Discord. and we can also communicate on there as well.
Absolutely, and we'll have all that information down below for everybody. Because again, what we're about is getting you connected, getting you integrated with the whole drifting or racing atmosphere, and be able to get you out there. And if you're willing, if you want to get into some of the races that he's at, definitely feel free to reach out to me. We'll get you in there. We'll get you behind the scenes, get you the VIP treatment with us, and be able to get you to walk around and even get you to sit in the seat and see what it's all about.
Yep.
But definitely,
and even go for a ride too. That it's highly encouraged in the drifting community to get people in the passenger seat and get out there with the cars door to door.
Oh, absolutely, and we'll definitely feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to him. But if you want to get in with him and stuff like that, racing or whatnot, we'll take care of it. It'll be free of charge. No charge for any veteran that wants to get involved with this. It could be active duty, reservist, National Guard. We don't care what branch you are in. Even if you're the Space Force or the Coast Guard, we're not going to hate on you. Don't you worry. So we'll definitely get you squared away and get you taken care of with it. But until next time, everybody, want to say thank you, Artie, for coming back on, getting you to talk about the Drift Force 1. It's been a pleasure having you on again. As always, keep in contact, and appreciate it. And all of our viewers, thank you. We salute you. Say thank you for your service, all you veterans out there, past, present, and anybody that's looking to get in. We definitely will salute you once you get in and get past basic and or boot camp, whatever you guys want to call it. And we'll definitely salute you. All right, until next time, everybody, we'll catch you later.
Thank you for supporting Homeland Heroes Salute Podcast. Please make sure to like and follow Homeland Heroes on all of their social media outlets. Homeland Heroes Salute Podcast is a Foo Bar Studios Sinista1 co-production.